Hello, Professor. This is my response to the Week 6 discussion. Uh, the question says, please briefly describe one of the disability categories under IDEA and discuss what you believe is the school counselor psychologist's role in supporting students with disabilities. So the IDEA, after researching, I learned that it encompasses several disabilities. Some of those include specific learning disability, health impairments, autism, emotional disturbance, and even speech and language impediments. To be honest, I didn't realize that these disorders were broken down to such an extent, and I found the IDEA categorization very helpful. I actually wasn't aware of the IDEA at all, and I've worked in emotionally disturbed classes. While I was substituting, I worked in that class. Obviously, speech and language pathologists see them at the schools all the time. Autism is a huge issue, so I think it's very helpful to break down these different disorders and disabilities into categories that are more manageable. And then in response to the question, I personally believe that the school counselor's role is to support the student in whatever disability he or she is categorized as. For example, I know that there are certain schools within my district that offer an emotionally disturbed class for, that's extremely small class sizes, like less than 10 students, specifically for these students, and there's a handful of aides in there, so they really cater to these students. I would also be sure to notify the student of his or her resources. So, for example, if the student was just diagnosed with autism, providing them with lots of literature so they can fully understand what that diagnosis means, and then providing them, the on-campus resources as well as off-campus resources, maybe community resources or different outlets where they can seek help and just guidance throughout this process. And then I would also try to maintain a strong relationship between the family and the student. And I think this is very important because this student will likely face a lot more challenges than, say, the normal, and I hate using that word, but this student is going to be facing more challenges certainly than the average student will be facing, and I think that's very important to have a strong support system for the student. So I think working on maintaining a very strong relationship between the student and his or her family, and then also that the family is, very involved in the school processes and procedures. So that's my response to week 6. Thank you very much.